Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and furthermore, welcome back to yet another exciting figure review. Today we're taking a look at the Transformers Rise of the Beasts Voyager class Rhinox. You can see a nice image of Rhinox there, nice render of him, looking very accurate to how we see him in the Rise of the Beasts movie. We got his name, some kind of green light up ruins here, some forest in the background, which is kind of cut off here by this awesome kind of tapestry, sort of ancient tablet look that we have in the back of the boxes, which features various carvings of the different Maximals at Predacons. Very Beast Wars inspired packaging on these Rise of the Beast figures. We see Transformers on the side of the box with some more ancient ruins and some carvings there, little Maximal symbol. On the bottom, we see the Transformers Rise of the Beast logo. We have some volcanic fire at the bottom, and then some more ruins to kind of frame that, I guess you would say. And if you turn the box this way, you can see a full render of that Rhinox photo, and you can see the Maximal symbol, some more green colors, some more ruins, some foliage as we move in to the back of the box, which showcases the prototype of this figure, rocking a more movie-accurate color palette than what we get on the final figure. You can see that he comes with his iconic chain guns, which were featured heavily in the Beast Wars cartoon, which unfortunately he does not have in the movie. Spoiler alert, he has more of a weapon akin to a huge warhammer. Which, I mean, the fact that they gave him these iconic weapons just kind of makes up for the lack of a warhammer. Transforms in 21 steps. You see some jungle. Again, the obligatory product shots showing the prototype. Nice rhino kind of insignia here. Lots more ruins and forest foliage. This side of the box, we see another awesome render of Rhinox. Eyes are squinting. His mouth is closed. His horn is raised. Maybe he's angry. Maybe he's prepared to take down some Predacons or even Terrorcons. Voyager class, some more ruins, vegetation. You get the idea. Top of the box is that same kind of illustration that we saw at the bottom, showcasing the Transformers Rise of the Beast logo with some more volcanic explosions. And then it's all framed by some more ruins and foliage. But that being said, that pretty much wraps up the box. Let's get Rhinox in here and take a closer look at him. Alright, here is Rhinox in his beast mode. Now, if you've seen my Optimus Primal video, I didn't really explain it, but I wanted to do these mainline figures starting out with their beast modes, considering the Maximals spend most of their time in their beast modes, only transforming at the end of the film for the final battle. So, let's start off with his beast mode. Really cool stuff. His mouth does have articulation, so you can open it. And you can have him say iconic lines like, what does Rhinox say? Rhinox, maximize. Or, living large is for forms like me. Again, he does not sound like that in the movie. He has a different voice actor in the movie who really went underutilized. Man, I cannot talk tonight. But the voice actor really just has one line in the movie and a second line that was cut where he says, "We'll clear the way," to Noah Diaz during the final battle. And I didn't realize that that was Rhinox talking until, after I saw the movie, because it just sounds so similar to Primal's voice. I thought it was Primal, but no, apparently that was actually this guy talking. And it's unfortunate that we didn't hear this guy talk very much. Like, I figured he would have had a very scary, kind of gruff voice to match with his his Beast Wars counterpart. Anyway, he does have this really nice face sculpt, very detailed, and you can see bits of the actual protoform exposed. Love these chains that are kind of hanging out of him. I don't think he had those in the movies, but he might have. There's a lot going on in the film. Plus, Rhinox just kind of keeps to himself throughout most of the film. Again, guys, I can talk English. I swear I can. He keeps to himself throughout most of the film. Doesn't really talk, so there's not very much screen time for this thick boy. Does have some really nice ears. The horns are nice. The back is a bit hunched, but I think rhinos naturally have that hunch on their back. Turn it over, you can see the robot mode head and chest there, kind of folded up. Really nice details. Back of him, really square. Like, he's got the flattest ass of any beast mode Transformer. I think the Transformers Netflix Kingdom Rhinox did a better job of the Rhino mode. I mean, this is not a bad Rhino mode. Don't get it twisted, guys. Don't get it twisted. This is a good Rhino mode. I just feel like they could have made the back of the Rhino more like three-dimensional than it just being a brick. Like, I could take this to the neighbor's house and probably break open their window. But lots of really awesome mechanical detail here. You got some pistons, some chains, bits of the robot mode. Obviously, it's very obvious that some of the parts transform for the robot mode. But altogether, really nice beast mode. I actually love this. It's a really nice Rhinox. And there's not much else to really say, because if I continue to talk about every small detail, we'd be here for the rest of the night. Anyway, for articulation, his head can move up that far, can move down that far. Like I showed you before, he does have the articulated mouth. His legs can move, but they're kind of hindered by a lot of the joints here. But his legs can move, so you can get him in some running poses if you want. Charging down some of Scourge's Terrorcon army. So there's the leg movement. And he does have like a little bit of movement in his back legs, but that's mainly for transformation. He's a pretty solid boy, so there's not much articulation to him, but hey, he's a rhino. He's not very flexible. Rhinos are pretty tough and don't really bend in very interesting ways. But that pretty much wraps up the Rhino mode. He does have his very show-accurate chain guns. Imagine him tearing through some Predacons with these. Now, there's really no purpose for them in his beast mode, but you can store them on his forearms here in this absurdly goofy form of weapon storage. I don't like that. I don't like that. That just looks absurdly goofy. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Trans-Metal Megatron from season 2 of the Beast Wars cartoon, where he has those kind of fans that are more on his back legs and can kind of fly with them. That's what this reminds me of. It makes me think Rhinox is going to take to the skies. But let's get rid of this goofy weapon storage here. And we'll do some size comparisons and then move on to the robot mode segment. So let's get started with that. First up for comparison, here's the Transformers Rise of the Beasts Voyager class Rhinox next to the Battle Changers Rhinox. I think that's what the smaller one was called. Now, I didn't do a review on the smaller figure just because it was a cheap little gimmicky toy that I didn't really want to do a review on. It was a cheap one that I didn't feel was worth doing a review on. But there you can see them compared to each other. And finally, here is Rhinox next to the other Voyager, which we recently reviewed, the Voyager class Transformers Rise of the Beasts Optimus Primal. So with all that being said, Pretty solid beast mode. I would say it's like rock solid. Literally built like a brick. I like this beast mode. It's a really decent representation of Rhinox's White Rhinoceros alternate mode that we see throughout the events of the Transformers Rise of the Beast film. So, with that being said, Rhinox, maximize! Alright, here is Rhinox maximized into his robot mode, and he looks really cool. This guy feels like a monster in both his Rhino and his robot mode. You can see the horns from the White Rhino alternate mode in his shoulder. Now, when you do take a look at the back, you can see that the horn is actually a bit of parts forming, which I'm not too pleased about. I don't think anybody is pleased about parts forming, but it is what it is. That horn on the kind of shoulder area looks really cool. Anyway, looking at his face here, that head, like the head sculpt, looks like he's wearing some kind of military hard hat. You know those hats that the army men wear? These big kind of helmets to protect their heads from being shot? That's what his head kind of reminds me of. And he's got this very, I would say, like, primal face. Like, the face looks like, I don't know how to describe it, like a caveman's face. That's the best way I can describe it. Now, he does have all of this scratching and just breaks in his body. Now, it's hard to tell which parts are just exposed protoform and which parts are actually just, robot parts. But altogether, it's pretty nice. And, well, the back of the Rhino looked kind of bad and gross. The back of the Rhino really does fold up nicely into the legs for the robot mode. Really cool stuff. Like, again, you can just see lots of damage. This guy's been through the ringer, and he survived every time. Nothing could take him down. So, it just shows you that this Rhinox is not to be trifled with. Now, obviously, he does come included with his very iconic guns here, which are the chain guns that the character wields in the original Beast Wars cartoon, which he does not have in the actual movie, which I think is nice that they would have included these. It's a great substitute over the pretty bland Warhammer that he had in the movie, which I would have liked to see the Warhammer included as well as the chain guns, but hey, I'm happy that we did get the chain guns. So, really cool. Looks like his hand is transformed into them and spinning, cut people up. He can shoot people. But yeah, really nice. Not much else to really say. Big piece of kibble on the back. Like the whole rhinoceros, shoulders and head just kind of fold up on the back. But other than that, it's a pretty decent robot mode. It's definitely not up there with the Optimus Primal robot mode, which I really loved. But definitely, it's a really nice robot mode. That's not really much else to talk about. Like, this is his robot mode. Really awesome mechanical detail. See some shocks here, and he's got these kind of crotch plates here, these skirt pieces, whatever you want to call them. Maximal would bump the camera. Maximal symbol is on his chest, but it's kind of scratched out, probably due to the years of this guy fighting Predacons. But yeah, awesome robot mode, and I guess that leads into our comparison segment for the robot mode. Alright, here he is next to the Battle Changers Rhinox, and this is where things get really interesting, because in Beast Mode, Battle Changers Rhinox looks more like his movie counterpart, but in robot mode, he looks like his animated series counterpart, which is very interesting. And you can see the two of them together. And finally, here he is next to Optimus Primal. They look really cool next to one another, and I really like them. Definitely some of the better mainline figures to come out of recent years. But that's not really saying much, considering most of the mainline stuff is these really cheap, gimmicky toys for children. But for the actual transforming Transformers in this line, they're not bad. My final thoughts on this: really solid beast mode, pretty decent robot mode. Definitely, if you like Rhinox, this is the one for you. Obviously, if you want super accurate version of this dude, you're definitely going to want to go and wait for the Studio Series version to come out. But until then, like I said with my Optimus Primal Voyager class mainline figure review, this is a great substitute till the expensive big boy figures come out. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Do take care, have a great night, and I'll see you in the next video.